Shalom, little Hebrews. We are in the genealogy of Yitshaq and Yishmayl and the birth of Yahchob and Esaw, or Jacob and Esaw. And this is Bereshit chapter 25 that we will be reading from. And Abraham took another wife whose name was Keturah, and she bore him Zimran and Yoshan and Medan and Midian and Yitshaq and Shua. And Yoshan brought forth Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Asherim and Letushim and Leeman. And the sons of Midian were Ethan and Ephah and Hanak and Abadiah and Eldiah. All these were the children of Keturah. Now Abraham gave all that he had to Yishaq, or as we know, Isaac. But to the sons of the concubines who Abraham had, Abraham gave them gifts while he was still living and sent them away from his son Yitshaq, eastward to the land of the east. So Yitshaq kept the land, and Abraham sent the rest of his sons with gifts, to another part. And these are all the years of Abraham's life which he lived, 175 years. And Abraham breathed his last and died in a good old age, aged and satisfied, and was gathered to his people. And his sons Yitshaq and Yishmayl buried him in the cave of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the field of Ephron, son of Sur the Hittite, the field which Abraham purchased from the sons of Heth. There Abraham was buried with Sarah his wife. So you remember, little Hebrews, in the other chapter that we just finished reading, that Abraham went and purchased land to bury Sarah. So now he's getting buried in the same place. So, because he bought it, so now he can, be buried there with his wife. And it came to be after the death of Abraham that Yah blessed his son Yitshaq. And Yitshaq dwelt at Beer Lahai-Roha. And this is the genealogy of Yishmayl. So these are, we getting ready to say all the kids that Yishmayl had. Abraham's son, whom Hagar, the Mitzrite, Sarah's female servant, bore to Abraham. Remember, Abraham had children with Hagar. And these were the names of the sons of Yishmayl by their names, according to their generations. The firstborn of Yishmayl, Nebaioth, then Kedar, then Adbeel, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Massa, Hadar, and Tema, Yityar, Naphish, and Kedemah. These were the sons of Yishmayl, and these were the names by their towns and their settlements, 12 chiefs according to their tribes. And these were the years of the life of Yishmayl, 137 years. And he breathed his last and died, and gathered to his people. And they dwelt from Hawilah as far as Shur, which is the east of Mitzrayim, as you go toward Asher. He settled with all his brothers. And this is the genealogy of Yitshaq, Abraham's son. Abraham brought forth Yitshaq. Now we're going to read who Yitshaq had. And Yitshaq was 40 years old when he took Rivkah, or Rebekah, as wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Araman of Paddan Aram, the sister of Laban the Araman. Remember, little Hebrews, last week we spoke about Yitshaq and Rivkah being married when they went and got a wife for Isaac. Hallelujah. And Yitshaq prayed to Yah for his wife because she was barren. And Yah answered his prayer, and Rivkah his wife conceived. So, little Hebrews, barren means that you can't have children. So what Isaac did was pray to Yah and ask Yah to open up her womb. That way she can have children. And Yah answered his prayer and opened her womb, and she got pregnant. So we're going to continue. And within her, the children struggled together, and she said, "If all is right, why am I this way?" So she went to ask Yah. So what was going on, and she felt something going on in her belly, like fighting or just a lot of movement, and she didn't know what that meant. So she she went to ask Yah. And Yah said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples shall be separated from your body, and 1 people shall be stronger than the other, and the older serve the younger. And when the days were filled for her to give birth, and see, twins were in her womb. So that's what she felt. She felt these kids, these babies, they were fighting from when they were in her stomach, in her belly, kids. Isn't that, oh, they were fighting in the belly. And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment. So they called his name Esaw. And afterward his brother came out with his hand holding on to Esau's heel. So his name was called Yahchob, or Jacob. And Yitshaq was 60 years old when she bore them. And the boys grew up, and Esaw became a man knowing how to hunt, a man of the field, while Yahchob was a complete man dwelling in the tents. And Yitshaq loved Esaw because he ate of his wild game, but Rivkah loved Yahchob. So they kind of had favorites, and his father loved Esau, and Rebecca loved Jacob, and you know, they had their favorites. That's what it's saying there. And Yahchob cooked the stew, and Esau came in from the field, and he was weary. So weary means tired, little Hebrews. And Esau said to Yahchob, "Please feed me with the same red stew, for I am weary." That is why his name was called Edom. Now what that meant was Yahchob was cooking it, little Hebrews, but it wasn't fully cooked. It was still red. When you cook beef, it stays, you have to cook it well done, and all that blood has to come out. But he was so hungry, he didn't care. So this is what Jacob or Yahchob said. But Yahchob says, "Sell me your birthright today." Because remember, Esau was the first one to come out the womb, little Hebrew, so he had the birthright, which I'll explain to you in a minute. And Esau said, "Look, I am going to die, so why should I have birthright?" Then Yahchob said, "Swear to me today." And he swore to him and sold his birthright to Yahchob. Yahchob then gave Esau bread and stew of lentils, and he ate and drank and rose up and left. Then Esau despised his birthright. So that was verse 34. Now, little Hebrews, what a birthright means is the firstborn usually gets all the inheritance first because he was born first. So he's entitled, according to the law, to have the property, the land, or, you know, if his father's a king, he will become king. You know, that's just like an example. And Esau was so hungry, he was like, "I want this." So Jacob said, "Well, the only way you're going to get it is if you sell it to me." So Esau gave it to him. So now that belonged to Yahchob, and Esau, he didn't like that. You know, he despised it after that. He was angry behind that. So that's the end of Genesis chapter 25. We're going to continue with the story in our next chapter, in our next video. So I hope you got an understanding with that, little Hebrews. And we will be taking, we'll be asking questions. Shalom and Yah bless.